I'm Christina Canet. I'm the Chief Curator of the New Bedford Whaling Museum, and today I'm at the Kilburn Mill, which is on Rodney French Boulevard in the south end of New Bedford, right on Clark's Cove. The New Bedford Whaling Museum is featuring one of its national treasures, the Grand Panorama of a Whaling Voyage Around the World by Benjamin Russell and Caleb Purrington. It's the first time the panorama has been shown in its entirety, which is over 1,200 feet long, since the 1960s. Some of our viewers might remember having seen it on Pope Island back in those days, but at the moment we're showing it at Kilburn Mill. Our museum is a full city block, but certainly not big enough to accommodate this giant painting. We have just finished a major conservation project that really has been in the making for 20 years, and now the panorama is finally fully installed at this historic mill off-site, and it's free and open to the public every day of the week from 9 to 5 through Columbus Day weekend. So it's truly the fabric of the city is represented in this panorama. Originally it was featured as a moving panorama and would have been displayed in a theatrical setting, rolling on spools to an audience, and now we are showing it in a static formation where it's on two 400-foot long freestanding walls in the mill. So instead of the panorama moving in front of the audience has to move in front of the panorama. So wear your sneakers. It's quite a long walk back and forth, but absolutely spectacular, as I hope you can see behind me. It truly represents all of the communities of New Bedford. It's a painting of leaving the port of New Bedford in 1840s and going around the world on a Yankee whale ship to ports like the Azores, Cape Verde, Rio de Janeiro, Fiji, and many, many other ports far away, and it's an absolutely beautiful, spectacular work.
I'm Akia Bernard. I'm the Curator of Social History at the New Bedford Whaling Museum, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the artist who painted the panorama. The first is Benjamin Russell. He was a native New Bedforder, and he was a pretty wealthy guy. He comes from a wealthy family, and they lost just about everything in the banking crisis of 1833, and so he went out on a whaling ship and saw the world. And Caleb Purrington, who we don't know much about other than that he was a fabulous house painter and decorator, they collaborated for about a year to paint the panorama. We believe that Benjamin Russell did the details in the foreground and Caleb Purrington did the background details, and they painted this 1,275-foot painting. One of the wonderful things about this painting is its authenticity. Benjamin Russell set sail on the Katusoff as a whaler and saw the world and was able to present that world to people who normally wouldn't get to travel as he did. And so, for example, after leaving New Bedford, the painting takes us to the Azores, Cape Verde, Brazil, many, many Pacific islands such as Hawaii, Fiji. And on top of that, we get to see, if you look very closely, some of the cultural interactions between sailors aboard whale ships and natives on the islands and different landfalls they made.
My name is Diane Kiltica. I'm a museum docent at the New Bedford Whaling Museum, and I'm also affiliated with Azoria Maritime Heritage Society. We're standing by the panorama right now, and if you can look to the side, you'll see Pico and you'll see Fayal. Our New Bedford whalers, our Yankee whalers, their first stop would be Fayal. The trade winds would take them there, and first things first, they would get some fresh fruit, vegetables, perhaps a goat for the captain's tea. He wanted some milk and, of course, some crew members. Some of the Yankee farm boys were not fitted for this journey, so they would leave ship and we would return to New Bedford on the next bound vessel. The Azores were very important in the first leg of the journey. So we have Fayal. Horta is the main capital. Horta has a natural harbor just like New Bedford, and Pico. And then they would journey on. The next stop would be Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde, same thing, fresh fruits, vegetables, and more able-bodied seamen. Thank you, and I hope you come down to see the panorama. It's fabulous.